You just took a loss, and now you're angry. You want to make it back, fast. You open another position, you double your size, you ignore the plan. Your heart's pounding. You know this isn't smart, but you can't stop. Sound familiar? If you've ever found yourself trapped in a cycle of revenge trading, where one bad trade leads to a series of emotional decisions and even worse outcomes, this video is for you. Welcome to this channel, where we dive deep into the hidden psychology of trading, because success in the markets isn't just about patterns, indicators, or strategies. It's about controlling what happens inside your own head. In today's video, we're going to break down one of the most destructive habits in all of trading, the revenge loop. We'll uncover why your brain gets hijacked after a loss, why logic disappears in the heat of the moment, and why that urge to win it back is so hard to resist. But most importantly, we'll show you how to break the cycle. No fluff, no generic advice, just raw, real, and practical psychology delivered in a second-person narrative that speaks directly to you, the trader who's been there. Because let's face it, you're not alone in this. Every trader, no matter how experienced, has felt the pull of revenge. That need to prove something, that desperation to be right, that fear of closing the day red. But what separates the amateurs from the professionals is learning how to stop, how to reset, how to trade with clarity, not emotion. And that's exactly what this video is about. If you've ever blown up your day chasing a loss, if you've ever felt sick after overtrading, if you've ever promised yourself never again but still fell into the trap, this is your wake-up call. So grab your headphones, find a quiet space, and give yourself permission to truly listen, because what you'll hear in this episode has the power to change your trading life from the inside out. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel if you're serious about mastering the mental side of trading. We post long-form, deeply emotional, psychology-based content to help traders like you regain control. And if this video hits home, drop a comment below and tell us your story. Have you been stuck in the revenge loop? What did it cost you? And how are you learning to break free? Let's build a community that talks about the real side of trading, not just the wins. Now let's begin. Caught in a revenge loop? This is how you break it. Chapter 1. The Trap You Didn't See Coming. You never thought it would happen to you. You were disciplined, methodical, focused. At least, that's what you told yourself. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. It wasn't just one bad trade. It was the reaction to it, the firestorm of emotion that followed. You clicked back into the chart, jaw clenched, heart pounding. That voice in your head was louder than ever. How could you miss that? You knew better, you knew. You didn't even pause to think. You entered again, double size this time, same direction. Because you needed to win it back. You had to win it back. That was the moment it began. The revenge loop. And it's a trap that looks harmless at first. Just one trade to make up for the loss, just one shot to break even. But it's not about the trade anymore, is it? It's about your ego, your identity, your need to be right. It feels like a mission, a war, you versus the market. But let's be honest, you're not trading anymore. You're reacting. You're spiraling. You know it. Deep down, you feel it, but you still press the button again and again, hoping for a different result, hoping to reverse the pain, the shame, the sting of that loss that hit harder than it should have. Revenge trading isn't about money. It's about emotion. And emotion clouds your logic. It whispers lies in your ear. Just one more and you'll be even. You can't walk away now. If you stop here, you lose. But here's the truth most won't admit. The moment you trade to seek revenge on the market, you've already lost. The win you crave so badly, it won't satisfy you. It won't bring relief. It won't restore your confidence because it didn't come from clarity. It came from chaos. Revenge trades are like emotional IOUs. Every time you act on them, you dig yourself deeper, not just financially, but mentally, spiritually, psychologically. And the cost is heavier than any losing streak. It's your peace, your balance, your self-respect. That's why this script exists. Because somewhere inside you, a part of you knows there's a better way, a smarter way, a way that doesn't leave you drained, broken, or ashamed. You're not weak. You're not stupid. You're human. And humans are wired to react to pain, to fight back when something hurts. But the market isn't your enemy. It has no face, no feelings. It doesn't know you exist. So why are you at war? Who are you really trying to beat? This is where the healing begins. Not with another setup, not with a new strategy, not even with a winning trade, but with a moment of brutal honesty, a pause, a breath, and the courage to look at the loop you're caught in and say, enough. This is the first step, recognizing you're stuck in a pattern that won't fix itself. You can't out-trade this. You can't hustle your way through it. You need to disarm it, unplug it, rewire it. You need to understand what revenge trading really is. It's not about the chart. It's about the wound the chart exposed. That loss, it poked something deeper, maybe fear, maybe pride, maybe a belief that you're not good enough unless you win. That's the real loop. And that's what we're going to break. In the next section, we'll dive into why this cycle forms and what your brain is doing behind the scenes that pulls you back into the same trap. You're not broken, but you are reacting to pain in the only way you've known. Let's change that. Chapter 2. Why your brain loves the revenge loop. You might think revenge trading is a conscious decision. But here's the truth most traders never realize. It's not. It's a reflex, an emotional reflex deeply embedded in your brain's survival system. When you take a loss, especially a big one, your mind doesn't interpret it as a neutral event. It sees danger, threat, failure. And when you feel threatened, what happens? Fight or flight kicks in. But in trading, there's no jungle, no bear, no real physical danger. So your brain invents an enemy. And in this world of flashing charts and P&L swings, the market becomes that enemy. It sounds absurd, right? But think about it. You take a hit. You feel pain. You want the pain to stop. So you fight back. Not with fists, but with size, with more trades, with impulsive entries that ignore your plan. This is the loop. Your loss triggers a primal urge to restore control. Because when you lost that trade, you didn't just lose money. You lost certainty. You lost the illusion of control. And your brain hates that. So it sends you chasing the high of getting it back. But here's the kicker. Every time you chase the loss, your brain gets a small dopamine hit. Yes, even when you're losing again. Because the act of taking revenge feels good for a moment. It feels powerful. It feels like action. And your brain, wired for instant gratification, loves action more than logic. You get pulled in, trade again, get burned again, then swear you'll stop. But the next time you're in pain, the loop starts over. And you know what makes it worse? Shame. Because now, not only did you lose, but you feel guilty, embarrassed, stupid. So you punish yourself with more trades, hoping to earn back your self-respect. It's brutal, it's exhausting, and it's invisible. No one sees it but you. This is why most people never escape it. They treat the surface, strategy, risk limits, tighter stops, but ignore the root. The emotional circuitry that's been misfiring in the background. You're not weak for falling into the loop.
You're human for falling into the loop, but you'll be strong for learning how to break it. Here's what you need to understand. The market isn't punishing you. Your nervous system is protecting you. That loss lit up your pain center. Your brain thought something dangerous happened. It reacted the only way it knew how, with survival mode. But trading is not survival. It's performance. And performance doesn't happen in panic. It happens in clarity. You cannot perform when you're trying to get even, because revenge is not a plan, it's a pattern. And patterns don't break with force. They break with awareness. So I want you to take a step back. Really feel this. Think of your last revenge trade. Not just the trade itself, but the moment before it. That second when you knew you shouldn't enter, but you did it anyway. That voice in your head was loud. You ignored it. Why? What emotion was driving you? Anger? Fear? Shame? Pride? That's your loop trigger. And from now on, we're going to track it. Because the path to freedom starts with seeing the pattern clearly. In the next section, I'll show you how to recognize your revenge triggers before they take over and how to slow them down in real time. You're not just breaking a habit, you're reclaiming control over your mind. And when you do that, you'll stop chasing the market and finally start mastering it. Chapter 3. Identifying your personal revenge triggers. Let's get specific now, because this isn't just about generic psychology or abstract patterns. This is about you. And the first step to breaking out of the revenge loop, you need to know exactly what sets you off. You see, every trader has a trigger, a specific situation that cracks their emotional armor and sends them spiraling. For some, it's taking 2 losses in a row. For others, it's missing out on a big move. For you, maybe it's when you followed the rules and still lost, or when you hesitated and the move exploded without you. That moment burns, doesn't it? You feel betrayed by the market, by your plan, by yourself. And before you know it, your hand's back on the mouse, your breath is shallow. Your heart's racing. Your brain is screaming, "Fix it, now!" But revenge trades don't fix anything. They just dig the hole deeper. So here's the key. You must learn to see the setup before it happens. Not on the chart, in your mind. Let's break down some of the most common revenge triggers. 1. I should have taken that trade. The regret trigger. You saw the setup, you hesitated. It played out perfectly without you. Now you're furious at yourself. So what do? You enter the next trade without waiting for confirmation, hoping to reclaim your confidence. You don't even care if it's a good setup. You just want revenge on that feeling of regret. 2. I can't believe I just lost that. The shock trigger. You followed your plan. You sized properly, and still you lost. You feel cheated, powerless. You convince yourself the market owes you, so you click back in. Not with patience, with vengeance. 3. I'm down bad. I need to make it back. This is the most dangerous one. You're deep in the red. Maybe it's your daily stop, maybe more, and you refuse to walk away. Because walking away feels like accepting defeat. You don't want to stop. You want to win it back right now. So you size up. You break every rule. You gamble. Now pause. Ask yourself which of these hits home the hardest. Which one happens again and again? That's your primary revenge trigger. And from now on, we're going to treat it like a flashing red light on your dashboard. You don't wait until the engine blows up to notice something's wrong. You catch it early. The same goes for your emotions. The moment you feel that hot flush of anger, that spike in adrenaline, that tunnel vision, that pressure in your chest, that's your cue. That's when you stop. You don't click. You don't chase. You pause. Because the space between the trigger and your reaction, that tiny window, is where freedom lives. You might not be able to stop the emotion, but you can stop the reaction to it. And over time, that pause becomes your greatest trading edge. Because no strategy works when you're trading blind with emotion. But when you're calm, centered, present, that's when the magic happens. In the next section, we're going to build your pre-trade emotional checklist, a simple, powerful system to catch your mindset before the loop begins. No fluff, no theory, just real-world tools to protect your capital and your peace of mind. You're not just trading charts, you're trading your state, and it's time to take that seriously. Chapter 4. The Pre-Trade Emotional Checklist. Let's get tactical now. You've seen the emotional triggers, you've felt the loop, you know how quickly it pulls you in. So how do you stop yourself before the revenge sets in? You build a system. Not a trading system, an emotional system. Because no matter how good your strategy is, if your state of mind is off, it's worthless. So here's the tool that changes everything. The pre-trade emotional checklist. Simple, effective, life-saving. Think of it like your mental cockpit before takeoff. You wouldn't fly a plane without checking the engine, would you? Well, don't enter the market without checking your internal engine. Let's build your checklist right now. Step 1. Name the emotion. Before you take a trade, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Not what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Is it frustration, FOMO, regret from a missed entry, hope from a recent win, shame from a losing streak? Put it into words. Because when you name it, you create space between you and the feeling. Unspoken emotion is dangerous. Named emotion, that's manageable. Step 2. Rate your clarity 1 to 10. Be honest. On a scale of 1 to 10, how clear is your mind? If you're below a 7, don't trade. Because trading requires presence. Not anger, not desperation, not revenge. Presence. If you're flustered, scattered, or spinning, the market will smell it, and it will punish you. Step 3. Ask yourself this brutal question. If this trade goes wrong, will I be okay emotionally? If the honest answer is no, you're not trading, because you're attaching too much to it. If a single outcome has the power to wreck your mood, you're not trading logic, you're trading need. And need is deadly in this game. You want to operate from neutrality, not pressure. Step 4. The revenge radar. This is the big one. Ask yourself, am I trying to make something back right now? If the answer is yes, even just a little, you're already in the loop. This doesn't mean you're doomed. It means you pause. You breathe. You walk away if needed. You don't feed the fire. You cool it. Step 5. Time check. Here's something almost no one talks about. You are more likely to revenge trade in these moments. Right after a loss, near the end of your session, after watching a move you missed, when your environment is loud or rushed, when you're hungry, tired, or burned out. Time and context matter. So ask yourself, is this the right time for me to be making a decision? Sometimes the best trade is no trade. Sometimes silence is your edge. Let's recap your checklist. Before every trade, ask, what emotion am I feeling? How clear is my mind, 1 to 10? Can I emotionally handle this trade going wrong? Am I trying to get something back? Is this the right time and context for me to trade? 5 simple questions, but together they build a wall between you and the loop. They give you power. Because the revenge loop feeds on mindless impulse, but this checklist forces mindful choice. You might still feel the emotion, that's okay, but now you'll see it before it hijacks your actions. And over time, that pause becomes muscle memory. That awareness becomes a reflex. That loop, it loses its grip on you. In the next section, we're going deeper, because sometimes it's not just about breaking the loop. Sometimes it's about healing what's underneath it. The old beliefs, the silent expectations, the pressure you carry every time you sit down to trade. That's where we're going next. Because this isn't just about avoiding bad trades. It's about becoming the trader who no longer needs to chase. The trader who is finally free. Chapter 5. The real reason you can't let go. Let's talk about the part no one likes to admit. The reason you keep falling back into revenge trading isn't just because you lost money. It's because that loss touched something deeper. It scratched at something you thought you had buried. Maybe it's a fear that you're not good enough. Maybe it's a need to prove something to yourself, to others. Maybe it's a belief you carry quietly that if you're not winning, you're failing. And failure? To you, it's not just uncomfortable, it's unacceptable. So you fight, you click, you chase, you push. Not because the trade setup is there, but because you can't bear the feeling of being wrong. This is the truth that most traders never confront. You're not addicted to trading. You're addicted to needing to be right. And when you're wrong, it's not just about the money. It feels personal. It triggers old emotions, memories of rejection, humiliation, being overlooked or feeling less than. You don't just want the loss back. You want your power back. You want your worth back. But here's what you must understand. You will never find that in a trade. The market can't give you self-worth. It can't give you approval. It doesn't care if you're disciplined, brilliant, or broken. The market is not your parent. It's not your teacher. It's not your enemy. It's just a mirror. And when you trade with unresolved emotions, that mirror shows you every crack. So the key to breaking the revenge loop isn't just discipline, it's compassion. Yes, that word, the one you avoid because it sounds soft. But let me ask you something. When you take a loss, what do you say to yourself? Do you say, okay, I followed my plan. I'm proud of how I handled that? Or do you say, idiot, you always mess it up. Why do you even try? That voice matters, because the more cruel it gets, the more pressure you feel, and the more likely you are to spiral. Here's a shift that changes everything. You are not your trades. You are not your wins. You are not your losses. You are not your equity curve. You are a trader, and trading is something you do, not something you are. Once you truly believe that, really feel it deep in your bones, you take back your power. You stop using trades to prove your value, and when you stop needing to win for self-worth, that's when you finally gain consistency. Because now you're not trading to heal old wounds. You're trading with presence, with peace, with purpose. That doesn't mean losses won't hurt. They will, but they won't own you anymore. You'll feel the sting and step back. You'll watch the loop trying to pull you in and smile, because you'll know better now. You'll be bigger than it. In the next section, we'll talk about what to do after a revenge episode, how to recover from it, how to reset mentally, and how to come back stronger, without the shame. Because healing doesn't happen by pretending it didn't happen. It happens by owning it and learning how to rise. Chapter 6. How to recover after a revenge trade. You did it again, didn't you? You got triggered. You entered too fast. You broke your rules. You chased the loss. You spiraled. And now you're staring at the damage. Account down, mind fried, confidence shattered. That sick feeling in your stomach? It's real. And so is the voice in your head tearing you apart. You're a failure. You'll never get this right. Why did you do it again? Pause. Breathe. Let's be clear about something right now. You're not broken. You're in recovery. You slipped into the loop. But this time, instead of sinking deeper, you're stopping to look at it. That alone is progress. So let's walk through this moment, step by step. Not to justify the mistake, but to extract the lesson. Step 1. Don't chase the fix. Your instinct will be to make it back, to fire up the charts, to keep clicking until you're even. Don't. Close the platform. Stand up. Walk away. You cannot fix an emotional wound with more emotional action. You can only fix it with space. You're not walking away forever. You're walking away for now, because your nervous system needs to reset. Your brain needs to cool down. And your ego, it needs to shut up. Step 2. Acknowledge the truth without self-attack. Yes, you messed up. You knew better, and you still did it. But this is where growth lives. Not in pretending you didn't do it, not in justifying it, and not in hating yourself. Growth lives in saying, I lost control. I got emotional. I broke my rules. That happened, but it doesn't define me. It teaches me. This isn't about being soft. This is about being accurate. Because beating yourself up doesn't make you stronger. It just makes you scared to try again. Step 3. Write it down. Yes, actually write it. What happened? When did the emotion start? What was the trigger? What did it feel like in your body? What thought took over? What lies did you believe in the moment? The market won't give you clarity. Reflection will. Your revenge journal isn't a punishment. It's a pattern map. Every time you write, you collect data, emotional data. And over time, those pages will show you your cycle clearly and honestly. Step 4. Rebuild slowly. When you come back to the market, don't act like nothing happened. Act like someone who just came out of a fire. You're vulnerable, tender, and that's okay. Trade small. Trade slow. Maybe don't trade at all for a day or two. Let your mind recalibrate. You don't need a green day to restore your confidence. You need a controlled day. A day where you followed your rules, win or lose. That's how trust is rebuilt. Not by chasing, but by honoring your process. Step 5. Forgive yourself. Really, forgive yourself. You're not the first trader to blow up in a loop. You're not the first to double down in rage. You're not the first to cry over a candlestick chart. This path is brutal, but it's real. And if you're brave enough to face your revenge trade with honesty, you're already healing. You're not behind. You're not failing. You are learning. In the next section, we'll talk about how to create a trading identity that isn't fragile, an identity that doesn't rise and fall with every trade. Because until you stop defining yourself by your P&L, you'll stay trapped in the loop. Let's change that next. Conclusion. You're still here. That means something. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, take a moment and acknowledge that. Because this wasn't easy to hear. This wasn't another flashy strategy or a list of candlestick hacks. This was deep, real, personal. We talked about the stuff that lives in the shadows of every trader's mind. the shame after a loss, the rage that bubbles up when things go wrong, and the brutal cycle of revenge trading that can wreck not just your account, but your confidence, your peace, and your identity. But here's the good news. You're not stuck. You've taken the most important step already. You've faced it. You stopped pretending you're fine. You looked that voice in your head square in the eye, the one that says, double up and get it back. And you chose to learn instead. And that, my friend, is how you break the loop. Not with a magic system, not with willpower alone, but with awareness, tools, and a whole new relationship with yourself as a trader. You now understand that revenge trading doesn't start on the chart. It starts in the space between the loss and your reaction to it. That split-second window where emotion tries to take over. That's where the real battle is. And the next time you feel it, the tight chest, the tunnel vision, the click before thinking impulse, I hope you hear a different voice, a calmer one, a wiser one. The one that says, breathe, step back. You've seen this before. You don't have to go down this road again. You're not weak for falling into the loop. You're strong for coming back from it. And the more you practice stepping back, journaling your emotions, running your pre-trade checklist, and learning to forgive yourself after a slip, the more power you take back. The market doesn't reward anger. It rewards alignment. When your emotions are in check, your process becomes sharp. When your identity isn't tied to your last trade, your decision-making becomes clean. And when you stop needing to prove something, you start trading with freedom. Now, before you go, if this video resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you been caught in a revenge loop before? What did it cost you emotionally or financially? And what part of this message hit you the hardest? Let's build a community where traders can be honest, vulnerable, human. Because we all know trading isn't just about profits, it's about mastering yourself. And if this is the kind of content you want more of, subscribe to the channel right now. We're building something different here. No hype, no sugarcoating, just real, emotional, psychology-first content for traders who want to go deeper. Hit that notification bell so you never miss the next episode. And remember, you can't control the market, but you can control how you show up to it. This is how you break the cycle. And this is where real trading begins.